Good morning. After a long summer where our predictions for the Swedish and Norway worked out quite well, obviously Swedish krona being the Olympic winner in the game of foreign exchange this summer. I'm just back myself from Stockholm last week, and it's pretty clear that the Swedish industry is having huge issue with the strong Swedish krona, and I know that the government even lowered their growth projection for 2013 based on the much stronger Swedish krona. So basically the Swedish krona has become, as expected, a punching ball for politics, companies, and to some extent a slowing Swedish economy. Swedish krona has technically, in my opinion, support around 820. It opens the week around 826, but I think it's time to neutralize the strong Swedish position. And for the first time since Q4 of last year, we're actually going to go totally neutral on the Scandinavian currency. Let me put that into perspective. In the Swedish krona's case, Finance Minister Borg is very rational and acting according to what he should be doing, in my opinion. He's saying basically the Swedish industry needs to adapt to the stronger Swedish krona. It is here to stay. On the other hand, he's promising to cut corporate taxes if possible. And it's pretty clear that the market is expecting the Riksbank by next week to cut interest rate by 25 basis points. We continue to see the interest rate policy being in line with the strong Swedish krona, meaning that every single Riksbank meeting will see a lower interest rate. That was the case historically in Switzerland, which is what we always compare Swedish krona to. In the case of Norway, they're quite a bit more dogmatic. The Swedish government, the trade minister, was out last week saying this is hurting Norwegian policies, this is hurting Norwegian competitiveness. So in history, the Norwegian Central Bank and the Norwegian government has been far more proactive and, in my opinion, dogmatic in how they approach this. So they're going to be doing more relative to the Swedish krona. So despite the fact that the market right now loves to be buying Norway based on higher energy prices and selling Sweden as a relative trade, I will actually, if anything, only keep that trade open, that being long Swedish and short the Norwegian krona. Because when governments decide to intervene, then they may not be long-term right, but certainly they have the ability to put some short-term momentum into the marketplace, and if nothing else, just scare it away for the short notice. So overall for Sweden and Norway, in terms of outright position in Sweden and Norway, we have moved for the first time to neutral, despite being huge fans of both the Swedish and Norwegian economy and currencies. And if you want to maintain any shape or form of exposure in Scandinavia, in our opinion, needs to be long Swedish and short the Norwegian krona. But having said that, I will again underline that we actually have zero position ourselves in Scandinavian currency as of right now. So overall, this week we'll be expecting and awaiting the Jackson Hole meeting on Friday. We don't see the market moving in outside the range before that, and not even after that, because ultimately it will be managed and lead and talked about so much that I think the effect, the net result, will be pretty much unchanged. But of course, if Bernanke goes full in, it could create a risk-on scenario, which actually, ironically, will probably weaken the Scandinavian currencies, as I think the predominant reason why the Swedish and Norway krona today is strong is the outflow of capital from risk, lack of risk willingness in Club Med countries. Have a good week.